So do you mind if we just stop here just for one moment? So I'd like to explain to the audience, I hope you will not hate me after this evening, because I don't think many of the singers will end up singing their arias completely through. We're here actually to work and to try to help them polish their presentations. So one of the things you tend to do is really open, we would say in German, aufreißen, a little bit higher range. For example, die tollsten Schwänke. Can you keep nun and toll in the same size? So can you give me, Paul, this beginning? Nun, no, you understand the difference? Because we end up having like basically two, it seems as if we have two instruments. A trumpet does not change the size of the opening for the higher notes, you understand? Yeah. Or a clarinet or whatever, yeah? Okay. So the nun not too small and the toll not too open. Also laune. It's a beautiful but it should not be so much bigger than, I mean, we're only a quart away, you know? So, okay, let's start again. Okay, one little thing. Very, very good. You understood exactly, you translated and you did exactly. Her was still too close. So you had nun eilt he. And then it's closed. Nun eilt herbei, vivre. Okay, all right? Okay. One more time.
Nun eilt herbei, Witz, heitere Laune, mit tollsten Schwänken, List und Übermut.
Yeah, very, very nice. How about this list a little bit more knapp, a little, die tollsten Schwänke, List, not list, so list. So a little bit more staccato, actually. Yes.
Sure.
Okay. One small little thing, it's a little detail, but can you enjoy the from schwenke, schwenke? So a little bit more grip of the tongue, the back of the tongue on the palate, yeah? Die tollsten again. Yeah, so the effect is we have this wonderful flowing kind of fluid legato, and that's pick. And this is exactly what this recitative is about, the contrasts of legati and portati and staccati, etc. So we're working on lots of colors and nuances, okay? And it's more fun that way also.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, let's just go on. Very, very nice. Very nice. Can we just talk about this for a moment? This is something that Miss Ameling said yesterday. I was so happy to hear. I was so happy to hear so many things. But one of the things she mentioned also is not every pause, not every rest is a breath. Now, you should decide, do I want to sing nichts sei zu arg, wenn's dazu diene, die Männer, oder nichts sei zu arg, wenn's dazu diene, die Männer ohne. In a way, I like the second version because if you look at the orchestra, you are very on your own here for these first two measures. And then there is actually a new, how can I say, a new kind of a mode in the orchestra. So that sort of tends to be a new beginning in a way. So that's where I would take the breath. Yeah? Right. So now what we have to do is make sure, because I've worked with so many singers, I know, please don't sing through the first pause. Think through the first rest, but stop and just continue. And then what happens is the second part of that phrase will have lots of air compression. And that's one of the things as a singer we want to have as often as possible normally. Okay, just a little before the nichts sei zu arg, please.
Nichts sei zu arg, wenn's dazu diene, die Männer.
Okay, can you take that breath that you take without us knowing you take it? So, I don't want to hear this slurp. Yeah, so that means probably you have to open a little more. So, wenn's dazu diene, die, okay, one more time, nichts.
Nichts sei zu arg, wenn's dazu diene, die Männer und Erbarmen zu bestrafen. Das ist ein Volk, so schlecht sind sie.
Okay, Okay, we need this schl as fast as possible. Multiple consonants need to be articulated just as presto as a single consonant. So we don't want schle, we want schle, schle, schle. So a little bit more with a little accent kind of. Schle, schle, yeah? It's the ul that's slow. Schle, schle, schle. Yeah? And this is one of the things we do at my home, you know, when we're in the kitchen cooking together and things, everyone thinks we're crazy. We just play around with consonants and things, you know? You just do this all the time, okay? Without your music, just, you know, for fun. Das ist ein Volk.
Das ist ein Volk, so schlecht sind sie, dass man sie gar genug nicht quälen kann.
Okay, we have this gar, a quarter note with a dot. Whenever you see a note with a dot or a tied over note, yeah, like tied over to an eighth note, for example, this is where the energy comes in. This is where the stabilizing of the support comes in. So we can't sing, dass man sie gar, sondern dass man sie gar genug. There's a development on that dot or on that tied over, yeah? It's like I call energy crescendo, okay? Let's do so schlecht sind sie again.
So schlecht sind sie, dass man sie gar genug nicht quälen kann.
How about quälen kann? Tap, 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 pot, tap.
Quälen kann,
Actually, it's quälen kann.
quälen kann.
Brava.
Vor allen
Okay, and now we have the possibility to be very different again, more legato. Quälen kann. For all. You're already doing this kind of like very, yeah? You understand? The, okay.
quälen kann.
Dass man sie gar.
Dass man sie gar genug nicht quälen kann. Vor allen jene dicke Schlemmer.
Okay, I understand that you want to have that clear, etc., and not too dolce, but don't push so much that it gets out of your control. I have to say something also. Articulation comes from something we call logopedie, yeah, the way we articulate vowels and consonants, etc. That's a Greek thing. Just so you know, in the Greek language, there is no d. Their version of d, what we would think, you know, alpha, beta, gamma, delta is a the. Okay, so to create a d, because they have to be able to say d also, they think nt, d, d, d. So it's very strong tip of tongue. So if you sing for allen jene d, 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 and a d. So it's not so much a jaw movement like a d, but d, 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 just like an L. Yeah, exactly, exactly.
Vor allen jene dicke Schlemmer,
Okay.
der uns verführen will.
Do you need that breath before dear?
Nein,
Let's
nein,
try it one more time.
Although, actually, I would go then in one phrase, der uns verführen will, ha 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 ha.
Anyway,
Anyway,
I'd like actually no breath.
okay.
Because the you can even do if you're even totally out of breath. Yeah. For allen.
Vor allen jene dicke Schlemmer, der uns verführen will. Soll es büßen, doch wenn kommt.
Okay, completely different color. Soll es büßen, not only dynamically, but doch wenn kommt. Who knows what's going to happen then? A little more contrast in color, not just dynamic. Dynamic, you make a contrast. Yeah? Soll es büßen.
Soll es büßen, doch wenn kommt.
So let's look at the composition. I know we're in recitativo, so we're more free and we can do more sort of, you know, ego things. But doch wenn kommt is actually a very simple kind of a thing. If you do doch wenn kommt, then it's a little bit different. The thinking, the pensiveness should be in the pause. Soll es büßen, think, doch wenn kommt. And then you get this kind of, you know, German, schlicht kind of way of doing it, and it's so much more, has so much more depth to it. Yeah? Okay? Try once more. Soll es büßen.
Soll es büßen.
Wait. Soll es büßen. Soll es büßen. we try? Can you sing only E flat? So, and I'd like these A's to be the same as the E flat. Yes, you understand? So we don't go up, down, up. We stay on that level and serve. Yeah? Okay, beautiful. Let's do this. So good. It's also back of tongue comes up and does g g g g g and not chin. It's not so good, so good. Yeah. That's the way it takes a little bit of time to get used to it if you're not used to that. But that's the way it works. I mean, I also have to say, this isn't even technique that I'm talking about. This is not my opinion or my taste or my method or whatever. This is logopedie. This is what happens if you lose the ability to speak. This is the way you learn how to speak again. It's science. You understand? So that's why I can stand behind it and without any qualms, as we would say in English. Okay, let's go on. Okay, now that's predictable. Da-dum, 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 ha. Instead, can you do da-dum, da-dum, da, ha. Can you almost come just a tad early? Take your breath while you're, don't wait for the piano. Let's put it there. Don't wait for the orchestra, yeah?
Halt, ich weiß es schon. Warum steht ihr vor der tugendsamen Gattin nach? Warum?
Okay. We know you have all of that, and it's wonderful, it's great, but instead of can you keep the same opening? Can you keep the same instrument? I'm not talking about always the same color, but the space between the tip of the nose and the chin should not change so much between a G and F sharp and an A and etc. You know, it shouldn't be that far away. Let's get you with the energy. Warum, yeah, and open the feel. Not don't let it fall. I'm going to be honest with you. You detach a little bit to the F sharp on that half step because you're thinking of the energy of the interpretation. But the muscles aren't elastic enough. The muscles have to go and they do because of this you understand? So not quite so hectic. You know, you have a lot of temperament, a lot of passion. That's wonderful. But with a person such as yourself, we need to sometimes take a step back and figure out how to do it, how to negotiate that phrase or whatever it is, interval in this case, in a more professional way, whatever we want to call that. And then you can put your temperament back in, really, okay? Take a little bit of time this time. Don't rush to the F sharp, okay? Warum? Very good. Okay, that's actually can stay that way. It doesn't have to be a lot faster. It doesn't have to have a lot more temperament in it necessarily. What would make it even better is when you get to the highest note, don't give your forte or your fortissimo all at the very beginning. Leave a little bit of room to develop that just before you go down. Yeah? People will think that's it. And then all of a sudden you open up a little bit more. And it's like, oh, and that's when we get the goosebumps. You understand? Okay. We're not here to impress, but it's not a bad thing to impress sometimes too. So, warum? So it gets a little horizontal. If you can avoid too horizontal, maybe it needs a little bit more support. How do we do that? Can you think in this case, until these muscles are a little stronger, can you think of maybe engaging your thighs a little bit. Now that sounds like a strange thing to do, but this will keep you away from putting too much pressure up here. Can you just think of a little bit like sort of squeezing your thighs together in a way, yeah? You understand what I'm saying? Yeah? Okay. Okay. Better? Yes, let's go on. Wait, okay. Rar, and not rar. Yes. Okay, do you notice that the harmony changes, texture in the orchestra changes on this sein? It's a little bit like Pamina when she has her seins. It brightens up a little bit, yeah? Yeah, you want to give us a little inner smile, not outer smile, but inner smile to brighten it up a little, yeah? Do you know that this ye doch, the ye, the pickup is a 30-second note? It's not ye, but it's ye doch, ye doch. It's much, okay. I'm not being picky, but the thing is, if we don't sing what's written, we don't really understand the characterization of the role we're singing. Because the only thing the composer has to give us is this. You know, some little black dots on paper. And we have to understand that that is basically describing an idea. And this idea is partially a character. Yeah? So look at what he's written, actually, or she in a few cases, yeah? And really try to do that, not to be pedantic, but to understand what the idea really is. Yeah? And then you can put some of your own idea in there a little bit, carefully, slowly, with time, yeah? But don't begin with your idea too much. Let's do Müsst eure. Did you like this sein? I thought it was lovely.
Yes, yes.
It's so much more musical.
Yes,
Yeah?
Sure.
That's also predictable. Meine Rita. Thank you. And then not ach, but ach is not a word. It's a feeling.
Yes.
Oh, I may, hélas. Those are all feelings and not words. So give it the feeling. That means the breath has to prepare that feeling. Yeah? I thought all of this was lovely. The more you work on that, then you'll understand this exchange between the voice and the orchestra. It's like a little dialogue, you know? So you always have to also make sure, we didn't talk about that, but make sure you get out of the way really on time, just as it's composed, yeah? So none of the last notes longer, yeah? Don't enjoy the last notes or try to get rid of the extra air on the last notes. Yeah, really get out of the way so we hear this Zwischenspiele, these little things in between, and then we have this wonderful dialogue. I'd like to do, Mein Ritter, mein Ritter. We need the achs, yes.
Mein Ritter, mein Ritter.
Okay, are you thinking anything different with these Ritters?
Yeah, one is like mein
Mein
Ritter.
Ritter.
Mein Ritter.
Okay, but I didn't hear that. Yes, yeah, the Rittersport. No, I didn't hear it though. Okay, so a little more, you know.
Mein Ritter, mein Ritter. Ach, ich
So if you have one or more notes, and we have that very often, on one vowel, please don't change the vowel. Keep the vowel. Yeah? Think of fiori ligi, how about if we do you know, really keep this. I know it's a small thing, but we hear it. We hear it. Let's do ich lieb.
Ich liebe euch. Ich liebe.
Okay, so we have a little bit on these accents that are on the higher notes, a little bit of h going on. So that means you aren't quite pulling down quite enough through. So, ich liebe. You understand the difference? Yeah. Now, what's missing, just in case you don't actually know what's missing or how to do that, what's missing is a little bit of extension in what we call this area here, right there. So, let me just do it once just so you feel it. A fist. Sorry. You understand the difference?
Yeah.
Okay, so this, this needs to expand more. Okay, so we can do it once. No, also not he, also not at the bottom.
What would you suggest for E on the top?
E. Of course. Good question. Good, very good question. Intercostal. Yes. So do you understand? The elasticity is missing, yeah? This needs to be a little more elastic, and this needs to be more engaged and less ha-ha-ha-ha-has in between, right? Okay, because that's self-defeating. What you do is you end up sounding less musical. You end up, one ends up dropping the intonation because we're releasing the support system, ha, yeah? And it isn't as smooth and musical as it should be, and beautiful. Okay, let's do the last, ich liebe euch. Okay, not hülle. Ich liebe. Okay, let me give you a little insight here. B is, again, we're talking about how to articulate things, is the same as p and m. It's upper lip comes to lower lip. So don't tip your head, liebe, or bring the chin, liebe, but think of an M. Okay? So that's something you need to work on a little bit. You're not used to that. But B, P, and M are all upper lip to lower lip. Yeah?
From actually.
Yeah. Okay. All right. We have to stop because we only have a certain amount of time allotted for everyone. I hope this was a little bit of help for you. Okay, bravo. Very nice. Very nice. Very great. Very great. Bravo. Super. Thank you so much. Thank you. Okay. So our next victim of the evening is Jeannette. Yes, our Dutch soprano. Hello. Nice to meet you. Hello. How are you? Good. Yes. Is English okay? You prefer maybe German? English, because I don't speak Dutch. So. You actually, Jeannette, you surprised me with how well you actually can sing this aria. It's a very difficult aria. From a vocal aspect. The thing I would like to speak with you or work with you on a little bit is the acting aspect, yeah? And that is despite the singing, it has to be, of course, sung. But we need to really understand that it's really a role that has to be just acted with very few moments that are really only sung. Yeah. Of course, the end of the piece we have to sing, otherwise nothing comes out. You can't act the end. Could we just start and do the recitative? Yeah. Is that okay? Okay, so I don't know if you noticed, but when I worked before that, we're going to work sort of little phrases, not, okay, so this is nothing personal to stop already. This is not a good, this is a Sherman, oh my God, don't Okay, I'm just saying, the pickup to the second strano is a 16th note, it's not an 8th, and that's a very, very important thing. You see that here? So correct that in your Shermer, just so you have it there. And now that we know that, and you will be able to sing the difference of those two values, your job as an artist is to say, or to think to yourself, or contemplate, why did he do the extra effort? Because I could just interpret strano. I could do it shorter just as an interpretive kind of thing. Why did Verdi take the time to make that differentiation? What is he telling me there? I know it's just 6 notes. Yeah. But what is he trying to do? What is he trying to describe about the characterization he wants of this role? And that's our job, to try to find. Now, it can be different things. At the moment, you're singing the value, but I don't have a differentiation. I don't notice it in the mood, okay? You can even think of doing something silly. Doesn't always have to be serious. It can be something silly. Let's just try a couple of things and see what we end up with. And if we don't find it, then I'll tell you what it is. Okay, so your last strano is kind of like a little bit of, in a way, anxious. So strano, and then strano. What am I going to do? It's like, okay. You want to try that once as a 16th, because that could be actually more a longer note. Fear. Fear isn't necessarily fast. Could you do it almost like a giggle? Strano, strano. Oh my God. Yeah? So, estra is a little bit like, that kind of thing. A little fluttery, almost giggly. Yeah? Still under control, that's the difficulty. Okay? Very nice. Can you do one thing for me? Can you avoid quell'acce? Can you keep the back of the neck stable? Now, I'll tell you something else. You are a person with a lot of passion, a lot of feelings, but as a younger person, the center of your energy for feelings is still here. Okay? Now, I can identify with this because I had exactly the same problem or the same issue. You have to really think of not letting this be too much feeling here. The feeling has to slip down into where the feeling actually is, okay? Yeah. And then it will really start actually, how can I say, affecting you. So be also aware of that. It will start affecting you then, okay? Yeah. You'll really start feeling, okay? That's not always a pleasant thing, but it's worth that, okay? Yeah. Let's do one more time. Okay, I have the feeling you're waiting actually to start. So we have da-da-dum, da-da-dum, take your breath here. Dum, da-da-dum, sa-di-ya-per. And not da-da-dum, sa-di-ya-per. This again is sort of a predictable thing. You know, wait till the orchestra stops, and then I take a breath and I start going on. Yeah? Okay, let's connect. Da-da-dum. Too early, but good, yeah. Okay, Jeannette, have you ever tried singing that without breathing in between the two parts of the one phrase? It's one phrase. Now it's two parts, so he has a rest in there. That's why I say two parts. So we don't sing over the phrase, over the rest, but we think through it. So, and what will happen is you will feel a little bit uncomfortable at the end of the second part of that phrase. And maybe that's why you take the breath, because you want to avoid that uncomfortable feeling. But okay, let's just try it once and then we'll talk, okay? Okay, the ra's a little too long. Yeah, it just goes.
Yeah.
So, the reason why it doesn't quite, let me just explain, the reason why it doesn't quite work is because you want to go forward on that phrase. Can you go backwards? Take one step away from the piano, okay? Start here, and I'd like you to go back on your heels, or even take one step back. Back, back. Yeah?
Yeah.
Yes, uh-huh. Okay, now you're thinking, you're contemplating this idea of a serious, love for the first time in your life, right? But look, he's giving you the same values. Saria per me sventura un serio amore. If you keep it simple, I promise you it will have more meaning. It really will. I know you feel it and you understand it and you want to do that a little bit more, in a way, theatrically or whatever. But it isn't the way to approach it. Do what he did first, and then we can do something a little bit different, from what he actually wrote. But do what he wrote first.
Yeah.
And you actually have to be out when the orchestra comes in. You understand?
Yep.
Okay, let's go on. Okay, just so you know, we have che risolvio turba. So on these heavier, on these heavier beats, you tend to adjust something with the neck. Keep it easy. Che risolvio turba. And then this will work more. Okay?
Yeah.
All right? Okay, mia. Do you know the value of the mia? Do you know? It's an eighth note, and not mia. So you're singing that too long. Okay, I'm sure you actually have looked at this, and at least subconsciously you're aware that it's not a long note.
Yeah.
Are you taking too much breath at the beginning of the phrase that you're trying to get rid of the breath? That's why it's longer, or you have to analyze yourself. Why is this not the way it's written? Yeah, what is it about my idea of Violetta that makes me want to sing this last note longer than Verdi actually wrote it? Where is the discrepancy between my Violetta and Verdi's Violetta? You understand?
Yeah.
Okay, so we need to get you started thinking. Che risolvio turbati. Okay, and I would, sorry to keep stopping. I would also say that this should have a completely different color. So, no man, no one ever. It's like, it's just so incredibly amazing and unbelievable. And this is happening to me. You understand?
Yeah.
There's a real change. Yeah? Okay. Okay, now what you did was hanul. Now let me explain what happens. You were trying maybe an idea, interpretive idea. Isn't quite the right way, because what happens is you aren't quite ready to sing. You take the breath, and you push air to bring in the muscles. Hanulwo, okay? This needs to happen in the vacuum of space. and not hanulwo. So if you ever hear a singer do that, also the singers that are out there, if you're doing that, you should understand what it is. It means the instincts are very good. The instincts say, I have to bring these muscles together to begin to sing. But you've already started making a sound. Yeah. So you get this hun, okay? So bring in those muscles first. And then you won't have huzz. Yeah. Okay? Okay, careful a little bit that you don't do any, now it's getting a little bit dramatic in a way because of all of the feelings. Make sure you keep the space so that it doesn't get a little bit too pushed somehow. This N-K is with the back of the tongue, just like yeah, okay? Really keep it open, otherwise it sounds a little, yeah? Okay, this ah is also too long. Deva. Do you understand now, in retrospect, that you do that? Yeah? Now you have to, because I don't know you, to know why. Maybe you're taking too much breath at the beginning, or maybe you're releasing at the end of the phrase, and then it falls and sort of gets stuck, and it's difficult then to release the tension, something like that. It could be very different things. Try to get that short the way it's written. Yeah, that's the way it's written, more or less. Okay, and if you sing joa, then we have this sort of wow, wow. I call it cat singing. Wow, wow. Can you start the j? I don't mean to be, I'm not being mean, but I just want you to understand that it can be a little bit comical in a way almost if it's done too much. Can you open the G just as you would do the B flat? So let's do oh jaw. Let's do once. Let's sing the B flat. Oh jaw. Yeah, jaw. And now jaw. Do you understand the difference in that quality now, that B? Because it doesn't get ripped open, like we say, so you end up being a very rich, expensive chocolate, and not a chocolate that's good for every day, like from Aldi. I don't know, do you have Aldi here? Yeah? Okay. This is a daily chocolate. It's very good. But when you get from a friend, you get some wonderful Belgian chocolate or something like that. It's like, oh, it's so lush and rich and deep. And that's exactly what you did. You're always chocolate. It's great. We will eat you with much joy. But you can be more, rich, etc. Okay? Yeah. Do you understand that? Yeah. All right. Do you want to do it again, or you want to continue?
Oh, I want to do it again.
Okay. Okay, and let's look at this again. It's very good. But, oh, joy, if you do what does he have? Ba-bam, ba-bam. Is it like, come on, girl, keep on going? Is that what Verdi's doing? Because you slow down?
I was trying to emphasize the last word.
I understand. But why would you emphasize it if he hasn't emphasized it?
Yeah, good question.
He's written a quarter with a dot on ama, so it's already longer than these 8th notes and 16th notes before. Is already really there. If you do more, it's a little bit like too much sugar on the cake, Yeah? Okay, also, just a small thing. I'm sorry to be picky, but I really want to help you with this. The do from amando is much too long. You need to get out of the way when the orchestra comes. You're carrying over, and then it seems musically, how can I say, it doesn't seem somehow tight in a way. I don't want to say control. I hate the word control and discipline. Those are my terrible words. But really, I just detest them. But it needs to be somehow tight. It needs to be sort of understandable, clear. Yeah? Let's do it one more time. off. Yeah. Amando, amando, okay. And now, this actually, we're getting slowly up into passaggio. So this is going to start building up pressure. This zd, you articulate here, of course, but can you feel it here in the lower abdominals? Uh-huh. One small thing, can you not let the la fall? Now, if you have notes that fall in between, sing on the same note or sing a half step higher. So you get the same kind of energy and tension, body tension, and space as if it was a different note, and then bring it back to the note that's composed. Do you understand what I'm saying? Yeah? So if you do then do try it once higher. Okay, and now sing the way it's written. Now you have a phrase, right? Yeah. And you've kept your support. You feel it immediately, your support system. And that's where all your feelings are going to be coming from, right? Yeah. So it's an easy fix. Yeah. Okay, let's go on. Okay, one small thing. I mentioned before also, p, m, and b are upper lip movements touching the lower lip. Now your tendency from the structure is to have more of a shorter upper lip than a longer upper lip. Yeah? It's normal and it's lovely, but it's a little bit on the shorter side. So you need to work even more and up, because it's going to be sort of flat. Yeah. You understand? Try once. Let's do once. And then go to p. Okay, avoid any closing. Okay, tendency is for the frequencies of the pitch to be a little bit on the high side. And this is a little bit more, I don't want to say it's melancholy or whatever, but it's not happy. It's a little more than ah. Yeah. So I would try not to do that too high. I think that E needs to have more oo in it. So if we do here, it's a little higher. And make sure when you go up to the E flat that you really pull through. Yeah? Okay. Okay, it's just a little bit high frequency somewhere. It's not a wrong note at all. Just the color of it is a little bit on the high side. So we don't need to do all of this. I would just like to do the beginning, the A forse lui. This is also a feeling and not a word. So if we have blams, you can have the tendency to come in almost a fraction too early. Don't come in early, but the feeling should be there earlier a little bit. So it's forse, yeah? Okay, let's go on. Okay, and you see he's giving you at the beginning, is very different, the way he's composed it, than the for from forse. So we need to have very big change in color and energies, etc. One more time. Okay, and let's do this portato that he's written really clear. Solinga, solinga, not solinga. There's a little bit of mush there. It's not that it's not clear, but it's not quite clear. I don't know how else to say it. Solinga. Yeah?
Sorry.
Oh.
Sorry.
Okay, for my taste, this A flat is a little bit too long, but that's really a matter of taste. I think it should be a little bit more, again, schlicht, a little bit more simple, you know? So there's still a sort of a forward movement in the music, because this jump, jump, jump indicates that to me. It's not jump, jump, jump. You know, if it was even jump, 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 I would say take it slow. But it's jump, jump, jump. It's like always moving on to the next downbeat. Okay, as far as I'm concerned, we don't have to do the rest of that unless you need that. I would like to make a couple suggestions, though. Different breaths. So you have Destado mi amor. You take a breath. Ah, quell'amor. Can you take a breath here? Quell'amor che palpito, no breath dell'universo, dell'universo intero. I promise you it's possible. Now, it probably won't work the first time. Now, I've jinxed you already. Probably won't work the first time, but eventually when you get used to it, it will work. It's better. Look at the text, look at the phrasing, and you understand, he says, ah, quell'amor che palpito dell'universo intero. So why repeat this dell'universo if you take a breath in between? You understand what I'm saying? It makes no sense. Yeah. So let's try those breaths. I'll help you. I'll be the conductor for a second. So Paul, wherever's the best place to start? Okay. In nuova febbre accese. You're just not used to it. Let's start right there at quell'amor che palpito. Save. Too much breath. Too much air. Yeah, now I know you're out of breath, so you think you have to sort of gulp as much air as you can to sort of relax. But that's something different. Relaxing and breathing is something different. You have to control here. So, dell'universo intero, misterioso. That's where you need the real breath. Yeah, the first one you need almost no air. You're going to do this very typical sort of bel canto, very, pulled line. Yeah? Okay, let's do, yes.
Yeah.
Okay, can we have a little bit of like, so there's a kind of musical drive. It doesn't say here crescendo, but the music tells you that because of the next harmony that comes. If you do misterio, the O means nothing, but if you do misterioso, then this O blossoms, you understand? The harmony, the downbeat of the new harmony blossoms. So he's indicated because of the harmony that he wants the line before to be more driven. Okay, so we have to start again, unfortunately, at dell'universo intero. Okay, now we have a crescendo, tero, and then croce. Why would you take a breath there and interrupt the crescendo that leads actually to a forte and the downbeat? When you know yourself, Jeannette, that you have enough air left over. So you're doing it because you haven't thought about it, or you've heard someone else do it that way, or whatever. So let's take that away. Misterioso tero, singing through, and then cro. Okay. Stop there just for a minute. Please don't hate me, really, please. Croce delizia, delizia, croce delizia. And both of these tias is a 16th note value. Now, think to yourself, Jeannette, why do I sing that too long? Do I have too much breath? I think part of it is that you're over-breathing. I think you have too much breath and you try to get rid of it subconsciously at the end of the phrases by singing them out longer. That's my opinion. So take less breath and take only the breath you need for that phrase. This is also something that Miss Ameling said yesterday. Brava, yes, okay. I feel very bestätigt. How do you say it, or whatever? Justified. Yeah, that's so great. So we don't need all of that. What I would like to do, because you don't have a lot more time. Do you have any difficulties with the rest of this that's coming up anywhere? No. I mean, it's a difficult aria. Everything's difficult. What I'd like to do is I'd like to help you maybe change the ending. I don't like this cut. And I know that it's done, and everyone does it, but that doesn't mean it's good. If we have, for example, the repeated C's, don't sing this phrase. Now sing, il mio pensiero al mio. Okay? So do exactly the opposite of what's normally done. So, yeah, yeah. So we have the repeated C's and the coloratura, yeah.
But then you want a different text also?
No, actually. So this would be then, I'm just going to, it's in pencil, so you can take that out. You take that out, yeah. So you start here then. Instead of cutting exactly, that's where you would start. So you leave out that, and you do il mio pensiero, il mio.
And then?
Pensiero.
That is cruel.
No. What did you sing now?
I just sang,
See, or ah.
Yeah.
Okay. Actually, you know, if you have a really good vowel, it's one of the greatest vowels to do. It's just as open as ah. It's even more open because the resonance of you feel, you don't feel. It's outside of the head. Anyway.
Okay, I will try it.
Let's just try it once. Yeah? You know, it's all right. It's all right. That's... Yes. Okay, sorry, before you continue. Can you not breathe before the ah? So, il mio pensiero mio. What we're trying to do is get every singer, back into the support system before we go up to the high note. You understand? Yep. If it's another breath and this kind of thing, the tendency is going to be up here. Believe me, I've done it often enough. I know, and often enough it didn't work because of that. Yeah, really. So let's try to. That's why this other cut is better. So let's just do the repeated C's, and you come in on the coloratura, whatever's the best. Was that difficult? I mean, difficult because it's different. It's new. Yeah? Okay. Are you taking that breath there before because you have the feeling you need to get a little bit of perch for the end?
Yeah.
Okay. The perch you can get by not pushing down on the soft palate, by pushing down the eyebrows. So if you do il mio pensiero, If you push down here, then of course this is all going, ugh, and you feel like you have to sort of perch somewhere. So that kind of helps, yeah? So that's not the good way to do it though. So keep this more open and inviting. Invite your audience. Yes, I have something to say to you. Aren't I attractive and appealing? Yeah? Yeah? Let's just start there after the cut. So, il mio pensiero, and then, yeah? Look friendly. Yes, yeah. Wait, it was great until you took the breath and then you went,
Yeah, because I really don't this singing the pen.
Okay, then just do, oh, why not?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, we're going to just sing 2 more seconds. Thank you. Yeah? Okay, very good. I mean, it always works for you. The E flat is not an issue. It's making the whole phrases before that, etc., more comfortable and musically more, how can I say it, professional in a way, yeah, and secure, etc. And one of the things that happens is that you tend to get a little bit closed here. Did you feel it when you open? Yeah, it's different. It's a little, it's more floating. Yeah. It floats more in the room. Yeah. Okay. Lovely. Thank you so much. So, thank you so much. Brava, brava. Fanyong. Mr. Du, yes, okay. Tenor. I already spoke to Fanyong the other day and told him I'd like to work a little bit different with him. I'd like to do a couple of exercises because I am of the opinion that this young man has a fantastic technique up to a certain extent, yeah? So I think there's a little bit of something missing. I think that at the moment you produce a little bit short and not enough three-dimensionally and enough. Now the point is we don't want to open and spread the voice, of course not, but it's a little for my taste, and not only for my taste, but for some of the taste of some of the other jurors, a little bit too much in a small spot. So this is why I wanted to work with you, first of all, before we do any repertoire, just on like an easy exercise or a couple exercises, like a sigh, for example. Yeah, can you sing as if you're sighing, yeah? Okay, now what you did was, you understand? A real sigh, like, try it once. Okay, when you go down at the bottom, can you not grip and close? Let it turn into almost air if it wants to. Okay, one more here. Now we're gonna go, okay. Let it turn it down. Yeah, we don't have to make a lot of noise down there, that's a low A. Let's do O. O, vincerò, O. Yes. Oh, again. Okay. So all of the muscles here in the throat are now very relaxed. Oh, okay. Let's do something else. We're starting on a C, yeah? So the difference between my e and my ah is not a jaw movement, but a small tongue. So I'm not making a closed A, and I'm not pushing it into any mask or anything like that. Very open. Oh. Very nice. Yeah. And please also lean into this half note. Oh. So a little bit like energy crescendo. I was talking to Jeannette already. You know, on this note, that's like a tied over note. Give me a little bit more energy there. A little. Oh. Okay. Yeah. Try not to grip that eh. Now, the thing is, we're used to gripping notes so that we feel the resonance, so we get feedback of resonance. I don't want you to feel any resonance. So this eh is not, it's like outside of the cheekbones. It goes that way. Instead of having the tendency to go up a little bit, oh, sit back, okay? Now sit. That's it. Do you feel the difference? Now you're opening. We don't want to swallow the voice ever, so don't misunderstand. Yes. Also in the audience, please. But we want to open the back of the throat so that we really have not only here space, but also here space. We need three-dimensional space. Mm-hmm. Yeah? Yes. So we're here. Let's do here. We need to get to E flat. Okay. Small tongue. Oh. Make it sad. Oh. Oh. Okay. Very good. Okay. And avoid going forward. Keep going, now this is E flat, mi bemol, and you notice it, you feel it, right? So don't do anything extra. Keep it the same and think of this tendency towards going back, yeah? Okay. Comfortable? Yes. Difficult? No. No, okay. Different feeling of resonance than you're used to?
I guess it's totally, like, I feel open inside, and it's very...
Does it feel over open? That's my question. Yeah. It feels like it's over open. Do you feel unfocused now?
No.
No?
No.
Are you lying to me?
No.
No? Okay. Okay. Because my feeling is that you have this little bit over-focused point to the voice because you're searching for resonance, or I'm not sure exactly. Or it's a kind of security also, sort of holding the voice here. You know, my point is, tell me, Mr. Du, tell me your first name again.
Fanyong.
Fanyong, okay, sorry. I think there's more substance to this voice, first of all, than you have shown us, and second of all, than you even yourself are aware of. And I mentioned this to Paul backstage also. I am kind of sneaky, I'm sorry. Since I knew I was going to be working with you, I went to YouTube and I listened to a couple of your videos. And you have a video, sorry, you have a video of Rodolfo.
Yes.
I was very surprised that you'd be singing this aria, and I listened to it, and you have one note in this aria that is glorious. And I'm of the opinion this is your real voice. When you sing, this A vowel is your real voice. Mm-hmm. And this is a tendency really towards lirico spinto, not even lyrico. And now you're sort of producing a little bit lirico leggero kind of, you understand what I'm saying? Yes. So I don't want to say the wrong thing and have you have the feeling I have to open up like crazy and then you lose you know, because what you're doing now is actually a very safe and very healthy thing for sustaining and keeping the instrument. Okay, nothing can happen. It may not always be as beautiful a sound as you might like to produce, but it's secure. So I don't want to do anything to make something not starting to work. But you have everything. You have the musicality. You have the basic, really secure technique. And I really think if you can get a little more color in the voice, you will not be able to be stopped. I foresee a very successful future for you, is what I'm trying to say. You know I like you. I like you a lot. But the voice sometimes is not as appealing and as pleasant as it could be. And that's your job, to try to find a way, without manufacturing a false kind of voice, but try to find a way to warm it up a little bit more, make it a little bit more luscious in a way. With all of your musicality, it shouldn't be such a big problem. It shouldn't be difficult to do. Okay, so let's do some music now. That was just a little bit of trying out.
I'm going to sing the Spirto gentil from La Favorita by Donizetti.
I think it'd be best to start. Let's not do the rest. Let's start at the larghetto. Yes. Is that okay? Larghetto. Okay. Okay. Wait. Now, why are we already there in this position? Because of the E vowel. So let's do Spirto gentil. Let's do O, vincerò. O, Spirto gentil. Okay, so let's do O, yo. Yeah, better. Is it a big difference for you?
Yes, just inside the mouth doesn't change, only the tongue moves a little bit.
Anyway, yes. You never want to close so much that you lose the frequencies of, you know something, in every tenor, yeah, there has to be a little bit of baritone. Just like in every baritone, there has to be a little bit of tenor. You can't take away all of the lower frequencies and have only too much treble.
Okay.
And, okay, so we've said that already. Take every E and change that a little bit to an E. Spirito gentil. Let's start there again. E. No. It's still too much Okay, careful of this small E in between. Ni. Also the nia. Ne, son, ni. And then the E is getting too, what's the word? I'm not sure exactly. Pinched. Okay, wait a minute. We have open the E a little bit like an
Okay.
like a schwa. Believe it or not, you can open it even more. Believe it or not. Okay, and now, so it doesn't sound too, like we'd say in German, grob. Can you think of making it a little more dolce? Open, but dolce. Okay. Careful of T. Menti, mentito. Let's, while you're singing it, change it while you sing it. Okay, give me a little support on the dot of spe. Spe, and not spe. Yes. So that is right. My husband was correct. I spoke with my husband last night on the telephone. Everyone's talking about you. Do you realize that? Okay, so it's too much concentration here and not enough here.
Okay, yes,
Yeah.
I feel it.
You feel it. You
Yes.
feel the difference.
Yes.
And it's, let's do this one more time. I would like this to happen. I don't even know the words. What is it?
From the beginning of the
No. This, the last. You understand the difference?
Yes.
So it's not just here also, it's also here, the small of the back.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yes.
Okay?
Yes,
We're not doing anything that's not, okay. You stop me if we're doing something dangerous. Okay? Okay, let's make this sieme a little bit more beautiful. It's a little, you have lots of space, that's good. It's a little narrow. Now, I would never tell any other singer to open up a little more horizontal, but it needs a little bit more this. Yeah. Fuggite insieme, yeah. Canto, can we do that? Don't bother. Okay. Now, when I do this, I want you to come to me. Okay? Okay, so you go up and you get narrow here instead of spreading more. Again, this. Okay? Scorda. One more time. Let's do something else. Let's do the body builder. Scordava it is. So it's like I'm taking the barbells or whatever, and I stretch up through. And this stability before I stretch up through is what's missing. This is there, but this is not there.
Yes.
Okay?
Sometimes I lost that how to connect.
Yeah.
The first and the second.
Yeah. Okay. You want to do this once?
Yes.
Like this, really. Wait, not yet. What do you do? Okay. On the downbeat, yeah? Uh-huh.
Scordava il pianto, la patria, il cielo nasleal, intanto amore, segnasti il cuore, conda mortale, ahimè.
Okay, now, bravo, wonderful. It's okay? Everything okay?
Yes.
You're not falling apart? No? No? Okay. I think on the way coming down, you need to use more abdominal.
Okay.
Okay? Yeah. So when you do this portamento down, wait a second. Me abdominals. Okay, not up. No, up. Yeah, you get it?
Yes.
Yeah, keep it. Really, because everything else you have. Now you have to do this with a teacher that helps you do this opening and keep this in the body, etc., and everything, pulling through with the support system, but without overdoing too much that it gets too heavy also. And that's the thing I want to be careful to mention here. Sorry, I'm hitting my microphone. I want to mention because I don't want to do anything which is going to make you go astray somewhere, yeah? So always be attentive of that you don't overdo opening, that you're really singing with your own voice, not manufacturing either too big or too small. Yeah? Okay. 5 more minutes. Okay. What is an important section for you? What is an important phrase for you here, for example?
Okay, since we already open here.
Yes.
And I think how can we try the high note?
Yes.
Because maybe something will change.
Of course. No, you just do the same thing. Okay, so the last page, maybe?
Yeah,
Fuggi dal cor, bravo. Wait, sorry, one thing. Can you reduce a little bit more dynamic on larve, because actually it begins new. So we have mentitas bene, more. So you save a little bit of energy there, yeah, and then build up again. Okay, again the fuggi dal cor.
Fuggi dal cor, mentitas bene, larve d'amor, fuggi dai
Save. Very nice. Okay, so this last. Again, leaving the high note, open a little bit when you come down. Okay, don't be afraid. Okay, fantastic. Really, that's a very, very, very good beginning.
Thank you.
Keep some of that. Okay, all right, bravo. So our last singer today is Stefanie from the Philippines. Yes. Yes. And I do this way? I'm just so modern, you know, that's great. All right. Okay, concentrate now. I'd like you to sing this first cadenza the way it's written. Okay. All right, let's go. Okay, not bad, not bad. This was much better than when you did it the other day.
Okay.
Yeah, and the other day it got a little bit, yeah, it was, well, it fell down too much. Now, what I think should be different, these longer notes are full measures, yeah? So we have the, now you need a little bit more air to be able to do that. So when you go from the C to the B flat, when you have that jump, can you think of stretching through instead of sort of bursting? So not but and that will help you save air actually. Okay, let's try one more time. Okay, same thing with the vre, vivre, not vre. We had this already with a couple singers tonight. It's a typical thing, typical habit. Can you get them a little bit more the same space? So sing the vre as if it was a D. Yeah? Okay. Je veux vivre dans ce rêve. And now we have a little bit vre, and I'd like vre. Let's do vre. Vre. Okay? All right, that's the way you practice that, by doing the upper note first, yeah? One more time. Je veux vivre dans ce rêve. Okay. Can we do it a little bit slower? I think you need a little slower. Dans le rêve. Can you do a little bit of smearing? Go ahead and smear once. Dans le rêve. Now, almost, but you still do. I like really swim a little. Yeah? Okay, do you feel the difference when you smear what goes on here? And this is missing a little bit. And this is typical from a young soprano who tends to be more coloratura oriented, yeah, because we're used to singing fast and fluttery. And if it gets a little too fluttery, then we lose the substance, okay? So you always have to, not only you, but especially the coloratures, you really have to pay attention to keeping the support system engaged is the right word, yeah? Okay, let's just do again from Je veux, yeah? Je veux vivre dans ce rêve qui m'enivre ce jour encore douce flamme, je te garde dans mon âme. Okay, so we're eliding, because of the French language, we're eliding mon âme. If you elide that, you cannot take a breath there. You can take before mon. So that's one of the difficulties of this aria. There are certain breaths you can't take because they're in the middle of words or they're in this eliding thing. So breathe, and then no more. Okay? So now that was it. But we need the rest. So, yeah, we just stop singing, but we don't breathe. Okay. Okay, and also this se or the le rêve is an article, and that leads to the main word. So if you take a breath, it's like saying, this is my sister. You understand? So this is my sister. Makes more sense, right? So dans le rêve, yeah, is better. Okay, I can't mark it in here, but someone's taping, right? Or you're taping. Okay. Maybe the je after the mon trésor, je this is one of these little scales that doesn't quite work right. You know the notes, and it isn't quite as fluid. So when you practice this to get a little more secure, do ka ha 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 ha, and then ka ha 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 ha, and then ka ha 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 ha. Just like a pianist or a violinist would practicing a difficult passage, you have to get it in the fingers, in the instrument. You understand? So give different articulation, staccato, portato, whatever, dotted notes or whatever, and it'll just get, it's like oiling the vocal cord, the larynx, okay? Ka, ka, ka. It's a little bit, I think, tight here, and that's why it's hard to maneuver a little bit, yeah? Because I know you know the notes. Let's try it one time, and if it doesn't matter if it works, we just continue, yeah? How about don? How about don? No, so she gets into it. Don, don, don. Okay, wait a second. So we have on one vowel, we've had it with other singers tonight already, on one vowel we have more than one note. You have to keep the same vowel. So if you do it's still eh. Then you tend to drop, one tends to drop that next note. Don't let it drop. So sail more, sailing, okay? All right, not hopping. And this scale also isn't quite right. So something in additional you can do to this, other than just changing the articulation and the markings. Think of it in 3 groups instead of 6. Instead of da 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 da, do da 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 ba da 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 ba da da ba da da ba da da, a little jazzy. Da 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 ba da da ba, for your own sense of the form. Okay, we don't want to hear accents there, but that's what you have to think, so that the energy doesn't da 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 da. It's the energy that stops and blocks, okay? Let's do Fuis sans retour. Fuis sans retour. So, oh, da 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 ba da da ba. Let's do it once as an exercise. Okay, not quite. On the way coming down, it falls. Yeah? Okay? Okay, but you know this, yeah? But this is something you have to work on because actually we hear it, you know? And you have so many positive qualities and things. It's a shame to have a scale like that where you have a flexible voice, yeah? But isn't just quite accurate. So we want to get that a little more polished. Let's do one last time and then we go on. Oh, yeah. Okay, you have 3 notes on the E. Now, slow. You change. Now, don't adapt to the tessitura. Exactly. Yes. Okay. I think we need the je. Yeah. Je veux vivre. But see now you've learned that. Now you hear it yourself. You didn't hear it before. Now you hear it yourself. So you're very intelligent and quick because we didn't even do this more than once. Yeah. So vivre. Yeah. Right there. Vivre dans ce okay. Also, sorry, but you can't breathe between the mon and the nivre. Okay. Well, you can't know that because, I mean, you haven't worked on that yet, right? So, rather, qui, breathe, mon, ni, okay?
Je veux vivre dans ce rêve qui m'enivre
Ton encore
douce flamme.
It's, the whole aria is more legato than you're used to, yeah? Okay, let's continue. Now, the big change, you're very musical and you do take this change in harmony and texture in the orchestra to heart, but you do it a little bit earlier. You anticipate it a little bit too much. So if we have, Ame, come ta-da, trésor, and a come, trésor. I think that it shouldn't start before the downbeat. Because he has not indicated anything there, you understand? He's not indicated any kind of change. So I think it's still this very, ta-da kind of feeling. And then the orchestra does this, this arpeggio, and you take over with this very erotic, sensual kind of phrase that comes then, yeah? So let's do, yeah, don, thank you. So, very oral. Can you give me a little more upper lip? Listen. So, what you say is e respire la rosa. So the idea of respire comes after you enter, after the e. But you're already thinking, as we always do, respire. If we do the feeling on the word that represents the feeling, this is what we call a mannerism. That's something what we want to avoid. Do you understand what I'm saying? Not everyone understands that right away. But make the change in the feeling when you take the breath, because that's your reason for continuing with a new feeling. That's why you take the breath and continue. Do and not respire. You understand? Yeah. Okay, that's sort of like 60s, 1960s sort of style. Yeah, I'm just saying. Okay, we don't want mannerisms. Let's do loin. This is my favorite section. Loin de l'hiver, lips, tongues. Yeah, very oral, okay? And instead of going, very nice, instead of going up, Stephanie, can you go down? Respire, instead of respire. Yeah? Go down into the body, right there. Respire. Okay, let me ask you a question. Very nice. Why does this coloratura come here at the Tempo Primo? Why do you think he's written coloratura here? Have you thought about that? Why it's coloratura and not just another normal line? There are different possibilities. One possibility is that she's inspired from this idea. I kind of like the idea because I think this tends to lighten things up, a little bit of a giggle. Respirez l'eau avant de le feuiller. You know, this kind of like, yeah, it's just too much. It's just so much, yeah. I think I would at least try that. If you don't like it, you can do something else. But it has to have some kind of content, some kind of meaning. And not, you know, that's a little bit, you know, like a little bit too much Olympia in a way, yeah? Okay? Let's do respire, bravo. Bravo, very, very, very nice. Would you like to try something? So this churning thing, whenever you come in, don't breathe the douce flamme, and then the flamme, not just like I'm pronouncing, speaking flamme, but flamme, like one consonant, not too much air on the f, flamme, yeah, like boing, yeah, like a laser, yeah, yeah. That's the B major. She can also start after the breath. Let's play these measures before. You don't have to sing. Okay. Ready? Breathe. I would start a little bit different energy here as a reste domona. This is bum 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 da 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 almost a little bit, yeah. Can you start a little bit more dolce because it wants to build? This is da 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 dum bum ba da 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 da. It's kind of a building kind of a motif. You understand the way it's written? So the come after reste domona. Reduce a little bit, save a little bit of energy so you have more at the end, and it'll be also more musical, yeah? How about just reste? Thank you. But then you have to really build. So, then it has to really have a crescendo in it. It has to actually build, yeah? Okay? One more time. No, come. Okay. Don't let the energy fall, yeah? Okay, and that's very well sung, etc., but it isn't so exciting. So if you do yada da 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 yada da da da, build it up and you understand? Leave a little bit of energy to be able to build that up and then come back down. Okay, always thinking of phrasing. That's the E. We'd like to, no applause yet, please. We'd like to just make it a little bit more musically interesting. So if we have you understand? We sort of lose the momentum of the music. We lose the excitement a little bit. I hope you aren't listening to yourself. Are you enjoying the sound of the voice a little bit? No! Your job is not to ever enjoy your own voice. Your job is to let the audience enjoy your voice, and you have to enjoy the pleasure of your technique working to your desire. That's the joy. That's the joy, not the sound of the voice, and actually once you become professional and sing for a few years, not even the pleasure so much of the singing, although it is a pleasurable activity. But that's not so much the pleasure we have. So please don't listen at all. Just sing it, yeah? Right there, the trill. better. And you feel like that's a little rushed right now, I think, right? It should even be musically even a little tighter together. Really. Sing the way it's written. Don't sing the way you've heard 100 of other people do it, necessarily. Because these so-called traditions of singing longer notes and longer fermati and everything, it just can get really very, I don't want to say boring, but I did say it, didn't I? It can become so uninteresting. We want it to be new and fresh. Keep the music always fresh and always driving towards some kind of meaning, and not just sort of like, this is so nice and it feels so good, and yeah, nice to sing pretty, yeah. Okay, do you have any questions?
Not so far.
Not so far. There's still a little bit of difficulty with you getting this really legato line. You really have to concentrate on that, yeah? I know it's difficult because you work mostly on fast coloratura repertoire. I know. But that's the thing that's going to keep you singing healthy really a long time. You know, a lot of coloraturas sort of stop with the beginning of their 40s, something like that, because they lose the elasticity. Everyone loses elasticity with 40. And also the coloraturas. And if you don't really know how to sing with your support system up to then, a lot of them actually stop. Yeah? So if you want to keep on, and I think you should, really try to get more support going. Do you have a question, I think?
No, I have a question.
Yes.
Usually when I do descending coloraturas, I just...
Okay, you know what we did with Mr. Du before also? Maybe think of connecting a little more with lower abdominals, because maybe you're doing like, and letting this sort of fall out. Really, lower abdominals are the basis of the appoggio, of the support system. You have to breathe, bring in lower abdominals, jumps, and then support on top of that. And that gives this elasticity. If you aren't connecting enough here and keeping it connected, even while you're descending, then it will detach and it will sort of fall. Yeah? So it isn't always only soft palate. Everybody talks about soft palate, yeah? But I see you lifting, I know it's all there, yeah? So I think it's more a question of really what the body's doing. It lets go a little bit too much.
One last question.
Yes, please, that's what we're here for.
If I'm doing the runs, is it okay that I'm feeling the here?
Not always. In Rossini, you will feel like you're working your vocal cords like, it's so much fun. You know, it's real, like almost like a machine gun kind of feeling. Mozart and many, this for example, should not be alliterated, we call that, should not be alliterated in the larynx, really. It should be more smooth. Not that kind of thing, yeah, okay. Does that answer your question?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's a style, it's a question of style, really, yeah.
But never do it ha 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 ha.
No, no, no. Also, it's the second good question tonight. Also, no. Second best answer. Okay, all right. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Now, you're going to have to take this. I don't know how to tune it off.